Hello everyone! Over the past few weeks, I've had quite a lot of fun terraforming Aqualis and Selenea, the new moons that were added during the moon update. And well, I think these two moons were fine with the system they implemented for interplanetary space travel, where you keep all the recipes and can even take items with. I wonder how this goes for a planet like Humble, that was made right before it, has a lot less TTI that you need to unlock the final stage, and is also a lot larger, meaning there's a lot more to do. So while I did not bring any items from Prime to Selenea and Aqualis, while I was terraforming those up until the final completion stage, where it got kinda tedious if I didn't, as Aqualis didn't really have the resources for it, and on Selenea I would have to set up a large scale system for it. On Humble, as I already played it, I want to go all in. So I got my stuff together here. So these are filled with tier-free butterfly farms, optimizers, fusion generators, the big insect rockets, and that should shoot the TI up quick. However, something I didn't grab are the items for a base and screens. Alright, let's start taking everything with us. Well, let's head over to Humble. I will imagine this completely breaks the game though, which is why I'm kind of conflicted about this update. Like, the moons, they're good. They're small, so you don't really have a lot to do, so having a faster progression because you have access to your previous items as well as all the recipes is good. But Humble, I think, is different, and this also is going to count for the next DLC that's coming up. Now, could I just not do this? Yes, kinda. I mean, there's no way to not play with any of the recipes unlocked. And while you think Humble would be better, you know, just play without resources from Prime, for example, it's not really how it works, because while we're not bringing any items from Prime, you basically have access to the entirety of Humble right from the get-go. There are some things blocked by ice, but you can jump down over there into some fiery holes and then get below anyway. The only thing off limits on Humble would be this right here, which is the beach. Oh man, we only get ore crushers from here? Alright, let's get the extraction rocket up and going. Now, I did make a list of everything that I brought with me. I wanted to bring with me. This is minus the screens that I grabbed later. The annoying part is we're gonna have to travel back and forth and keep gathering all the items for the rocket too. Now, we do have interplanetary rockets that we can send back and forth. I'm not 100% sure how that works exactly on all these items. And also, it isn't that much space, so I don't think it's worth it much. Alright, trip 2 to Humble. Gonna have to watch this cutscene a lot. What I will say though is something that is quite nice about keeping all the recipes and being able to go back and forth to Prime is towards the end, you usually have that spot where you're not really doing much. You just let the game run AFK, either that or you grind for a ton of resources. You don't really have that right now. I wonder how fast it's gonna go. I think the planets combined took me less than 20 hours, and that is with setting everything up for Prime as well. Getting all the supplies over, and just doing some random stuff. Humble, when it came out, it took me like 50 hours to get from the base stage to the last one. But I imagine that's gonna go a lot faster now, especially now that we have access to some pretty high level stuff, which are the butterfly farms. Oh great, you also find good loot right off the bat on Humble now. I'm guessing that's because we came here from Prime, so it's things were in endgame territory. Alright, let's get the final items. And after that we can start by placing everything down, shooting the rockets into the sky, and then see how fast it's gonna go. The tier-free butterfly farms are the best in the game for TI, which is why I chose those. Alright, I did a quick checkup, we got everything. I would like to set up interplanetary exchange shuttles, but I'll do that some other time. As Humble, of course, does have some exclusive items, so we cannot get on Prime. I think eventually I would like to set up a proper system on these planets. Mainly so if I ever accidentally click on one of them, and I forgot the resources to make, you know, a new shuttle, I am not stuck. This is probably not going to count for Aqualis, however, as that one doesn't really work. It also seems like the better life program message shows up on Humble here. Well, I did not think about that one, I will admit. 300 oxygen, eh? Or PPT, even. I will admit that is a system that I do like. But it doesn't work on every item, per se. I think if they fine-tuned it a little bit, to the point where you cannot just skyrocket your TI right from the get-go, that would be pretty nice. Alright, well, I guess instead we're gonna have to get some tree spreaders. But yeah, it does strike me as odd that you cannot place certain items, but others you can. It seems to be kinda random too. Like, the only other one I found was the atmospheric water collector, which I think was fine on Aqualis, seeing as it would halt progression for a little bit. But honestly, it's not like it's a massive deal or anything either, because you can really quickly get everything back up again. You are able to place a lot of the high-tiered other items, like tier 5 drills, for example. So I imagine that the tier 3 tree spreader will also work. Alright, I will admit it actually isn't as fast as it looks like it would be. I've spent over half an hour since the start of the video. Alright, there we go. I got 6 of these down. The eye should start going crazy fast. Yep, we got the tier 2 ore extractor, or ore crusher. And we also got the tier 3. How nice. Oh, and we have blue skies too. Oh, we also have liquid water already. Do we have anything else to unlock? No, it's literally just these two. Right, I forgot how much we needed for these farms. Oh, looks like we have enough already. There we go. All 8 of them are down. Let's get our butterflies out. And let's fill all these things up. The easiest way to get these high-leveled butterflies would be to go to the Lost Paradise. They spawn there quite often. And you even have the chance of the golden one, which is nice. Alright, we have made lakes. Let's place down a machine optimizer as well. So how much does this already do? Oh, we don't have the bio screen. Actually, we can see it over here. Insects, they're going pretty damn quickly. Even plants are going kinda quick, but insects are going crazy. How much is it to make the bio screen, though? I guess we got moss, because everything just suddenly turned green. So we do require some aluminum. Where was that again? I think over here, right? Please don't tell me we have to blow at least one of them open. Well, at least we did find a explosive. Or a couple, at least. So let's blow open the rocks, get some aluminum. There we go, we got the biomass going. We also got flora, so now we're going to trees. Only 2.7 million grams. Then again, that's just 8 butterfly domes. Putting the fuses in, doubled that pretty much, or almost. 4.3. So let's build a launch platform. Alright, according to my list, the only thing that I have left are the rockets. So those were 8 insect rockets of the 500 or 5000% variety. We blew past trees, that's crazy. We also got oxygen. Now we're going for fish. However, that is pretty much everything I have here. Come on, guys, you can do it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, they can. They're off. And they fell down again. Yeah, that was everything that I have around here. Surprisingly, it is going fast, but also not super fast. What I also find interesting is the quest for tier 1 ore crusher is gone. I never made that. Oh, I just saw that pop up. But yeah, everything is open to us now. This beach actually opens up a lot sooner than I remember. Seems like all the ice has melted over here as well. And we got a new message. That might be from Terraform Robotics. As I imagine we can get all the lore from this planet on this save file. How did we get the message, actually? I never built one of those antenna. Kinda suspicious game. Alright, let's get the supplies ready for one of the message screens. As well as the antenna, I suppose, while we're at it anyway. Alright, we got the antenna up now. Now we should officially be getting messages. No, it is from Sentinel Corp. We kindly remind you that you should not, under any circumstances, use Sentinel Corp technology to communicate with outside humans, ships, or corporations. Any breach of contract will result in an increase in sentence and extraction time. Well, alright, that doesn't really matter at this moment. Unless they limit something when the next DLC comes out. I think people are gonna go crazy quick through all the new content. It will be interesting to note that while it took me half an hour to set everything up, back from Prime to here, placing everything down, on the other hand, was done in no time. So within 15 minutes from that point where I set that, we've basically come to this part right here. Something that I want to do is rebuild everything we did on the main playthrough. I'm not going to do that right this second, but it is something that I will do off camera most likely. Because I'm going to have to go back and forth to the videos to check it out what we've done. Let's craft a couple tier 2 drones. Then I suppose the next goal would be to see where we have to drill for some of the unique materials. Which means we're going to have to find a couple more items. Also, collect all the data logs already. Well, at least if we find any, that is. Oh, would you look at that? We can actually collect the Cosmic Cord now. To get the Terraform Robotics box, of course. So at the current pace, seeing as we got to around 1 TTI, like 15 minutes in. Now that is taking into account that we were setting everything up still. But I think that means you can basically, with everything that we have right now, complete Humble, or the terraformation anyway, in like an hour. As we only needed 4 TTI to complete it. Yeah, I think with good preparation, you could technically just beat Humble within the hour, which could be crazy. We know what you did to our robots. Man, I didn't do shit. It was the other hacker dude, I swear. I want to get tons of money here. Oh, and especially here. Pop, 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 pop. Not much else though, just money. God, that noise. Oh, would you look at that? Some new butterflies. Okay, on this beach, this particular area has them as well. The Serenas. I think gold can spawn here too. So if you choose this as your starting planet over over Prime, this is where you can farm these butterflies. Alright, I did quite a bit of work to get one super alloy rod, but I'm going to invest it in an auto crafter. So we can quickly make some more. Well, one more, I suppose. That is not ideal. You know, I'm surprised the ice is still here. But I guess maybe it just doesn't melt correctly. Because we're going so fast through it. But then again, everything out here melted. I'm not sure. And I just noticed we reached 4 TTI. Which means terraformation, once again, is complete. I've been recording for 1.5 hours. And half an hour of that was getting everything over to Humble. Of course, you could do it way faster, but it's kind of insane how quick it already went, though. Because this isn't that many resources. Besides this entire setup, all we needed was, well, probably 1 tier 3 tree spreader would have already done the job. I placed 5 of these down. And all that just so we can place these butterfly farms. So again, we haven't really done that much. Like, I haven't even been able to explore that much either. I just crossed the beach, went a little bit into the caves, and then on the right side over here, where the sulfur is, that's up to where I went. Over half the planet is still unexplored. Well, by this character anyway. However, now that I have the mapping screen up, I can go and collect the dolomite and stuff like that. Bring it back to Prime. But I'll do that off camera, as well as rebuilding everything we had built in our Humble series. That way it would kind of feel like we've been here all along. Yeah, kind of a crazy difference though. 50 hours to complete it. When you play from the very beginning to pretty much an hour if you got everything from Prime. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. And I see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.